Hi, my name is Carlos Edwards, and welcome back to Career Quest. And we are back here. We are joined with the prestigious, the amazing Joshua Waters. Welcome back.
Hey, thank you for having me back.
Oh man, thank you, thank you. And again, I love food. So like anytime I get to like talk about food, is eat food, it's a amazing, thing. So your role.
Yes.
What is your role?
So I am the executive chef of Gibbons Estates. So essentially, what I do in a given day is I oversee three venues. One, our market and craft, which is our daily hub, which is more of a food court type deal. Our social brew, which is our cafe by day, wine bar by night, and then Terrain, which is our elevated experience. This is where you'll see some fine dining place or some elements of really what a downtown restaurant looks like. But we get to offer that to our residents there because the convenience of living at Gibbons as a resident is I have all of my necessities on campus and I can go out to eat anytime on campus and still not really miss out on things that are going on outside as well. I also oversee the assisted living. So I'm pretty much over four venues. Assisted living being more health center focused. So that's really looking at like mechanicals, like pureed foods, but also really trying to change the way that looks. Because when you think retirement community, you think pudding, you think how much meatloaf am I going to serve in a week?
Right.
I'm beyond that because really, just because you have gained age doesn't mean that you should lose out on the food experience that everyone else gets to experience on any given day. So I oversee 64 employees, 48 cooks, 24 servers about. And what that looks like for me is really making sure in any given day that they have all the product they need in-house, that all their needs are met and heard. And one, making sure that my staff voices are lifted up higher than mine. I'm overseeing it. I'm making the menus, but I'm not working at every station. I want the person who's working there to be able to say like, hey, that's my menu item. Or, hey, I thought of a couple items on this. And does that take a little bit of workload off of me? Yes. But also the allowing their voices to feel heard is a way that you create a really productive environment. And that's kind of one of the cool things there. I've been there for 9 months. And in that time, I've taken that team from being a really good team to a team that's excited about coming into work every single day. A team that whenever they come to me, they know that their voice is heard, that their needs are being met, their wants are being heard, and that we as a group and as a team are really working together to create a really harmonious adventure.
Wow, that's so awesome, man. And again, like I touched on this earlier, but you're only 24 years old
I'm only 24.
and you're managing 48 cooks,
Yeah.
24 servers, four
Four different places that I'm
four places, 24 years old. Wow.
24.
And you were able to do this by the tutelage of AB Tech.
By the tutelage of AB Tech.
Wow.
All the people who took a chance on just kind of, going after the kid. I was like, I'm going to ask you every question until you get tired of it. That's that same question. Just because for me, if I don't know something, why am I going to act like I know it?
Right.
I might as well ask questions. AB Tech was great for that. I mean, they were classically French trained school. I mean, you're going to learn French techniques. Does it look like I know any French? Like a person who is like, oh yeah, I can make a gravy, and they're like, oh, well, had you made your roux yet? What is a roux?
Wow.
Well, that's equal parts flour and whatever fat you want to use. I'm like, okay. So is that the same thing I've been doing and just didn't know the name for it? Or is this a technique? Oh, it's what you've been doing, but we're just going to put the name and the intention behind every action. So at that time, it's like, oh, I'm learning all these things. And one of my chefs was like, "Hey, have you ever messed with a poulet rouge?" I'm like, "A poulet who?" A baby chicken. Oh yes, I can cook a baby chicken. Okay, cool. But it's little moments like that where they really go out their way to make sure that you are set up. Now, to make sure that you are set up, you have to put yourself in the position to be able to hear what they're saying,
Mm-hmm.
but also take the advice. Sometimes it's gonna come to you in the matter of like, "Hey, this we're gonna say this nicely, like, hey, like." Your chicken that you cooked for me today, it was just a little bit overcooked. You know what we can do next time? We can cook it to 163, let it carry over, and it'll be perfect. Some days, honestly, there will be times where you probably done this a million times, and it's not that they're over it. They're just gonna say it a little bit more blunt, like, "Hey, you overcooked your chicken. We can't serve that."
Right.
But what that taught me is, one, it taught me about a couple different styles of how you would be dealing with certain chefs and different managers in the field,
Mm.
but also the expectation that they have. It's like, if we're going to put something out and give you food, we expect it to be the best that you can produce.
Yeah.
Not the best that we want, but the best that you can produce. And that's all they ask. They don't ask for too much more. They ask that you give the best that you have every single day. And if your best is only like 20%, give the best of the 20% that you got. And be vocal and be communicate. Communication is my biggest thing. Communicate like, "Hey, I'm having this problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having things in my personal life that are causing me to feel a little airy and space it out. I'm going to give you the best I can." But in that moment of you communicating with them, they're going to be like, "Okay, we can also provide you with the necessary tools through AB Tech to make sure that you're getting what you need, what you needed." And it's those moments that really set AB Tech apart. And a lot of people say, "Oh, that feels scripted." This is genuinely from a heart. They have took care of me for 4.5, 5 years, and they every time I go there, I don't have to say hi, but I love to say hi because they really treated me beyond a person. Like, they treated me like we're your kid, like you're their kid. Like,
Yeah.
they're watching you grow, and they are just loving to see the progress that you're going through.
Oh man, I love that, man. And for any kids that are tuning in, that's such a powerful statement, to know that you can go to a school and literally, you have people that care so much as if they're like your own parents. That's like uber powerful. So kind of going back to, your role and what you do day to day, what does your typical work day, look like?
Now it's time for the nitty gritty. Yeah. Yeah. So my typical work day starts at 7 a.m.
Hmm.
Kids, let me say this now. Don't do what I'm doing. I get in about 7 a.m. My typical work day is about a 14-hour shift. Uh, I'm used to working that hard because what I've been doing, especially for me, I did school full time and I worked full time. So I was constantly moving. So I'm used to it. If you're not used to it, don't do that. Work your 8 hours and survive. But my typical day starts at 7 a.m. That's me going through saying hey to my staff members, seeing what they need. About 9 o'clock, I get pulled into a couple meetings, to be honest. A lot of that's dealing with budgets, seeing what resident needs, satisfactions are, working closely. Because with Gibbons, I am we are overseeing residents. So they have their own resident dining committee where they want to know, hey, what's going on? How can we help you? Is there anything that we see as a group that we need to address and fix? Or is there just stuff that we want to just kind of not complain about, but make you aware of? And so go through that for about 3 hours. So usually I get out about noon. From noon till about 3 o'clock, I'm a person who likes to be hands-on. So at that time, I'm usually somewhere scrubbing something down because to me, I'm this building is not small. It's not a hallway. It is 3 levels of 3 actual floors of cooking. So
Oh wow.
I'm
Right. Okay.
if you're cleaning, I'm not saying you're having to clean, but there's a lot that we are working on. And for me, again, this is AV Tech. I walked in the AV Tech every single day. That kitchen was shinier, like it looked like you just unpackaged a brand new refrigerator. So for all of our millennials out there, now we're at that point where we're opening new equipment and it's like, oh, this looks so super nice. But no, it's I like to make sure my place is clean. For sure, because the simple motto of a clean mind, your environment really enhances what your mind is doing.
Mm.
And so if it's clean, my brain's a little bit less cluttered, just because that's one less thing I got to worry about. Not because I see something clean and it's like, I don't have to worry about this. It's just like, okay, that's one less aspect that I got to think about. Then, so from 12 to 3, I'm usually cleaning somewhere. From 3 to about 9, I am hands-on, either cooking, running food. Just because I'm an executive chef does not mean I get to sit in the office all day. I don't want to be an office chef. I am a person who really likes to be a part of the team. Well, so if I had to get nitty-gritty and go, sure, wash dishes. In fact, here's a fun fact for you. I was in a dish fit this morning with the same chef coat on, and no one would ever realize.
Wow. Spotless. Spotless coat. Spotless coat. Wow.
But it is what I do. I am a person who's like, oh, you need help, I got you. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm not going to complain because my job is to make sure that your job is going smoothly. And if your job's not going smoothly, then I need to figure out a way to make sure that it goes smooth.
Wow. I love that, man. Working with people that really are selfless, honestly, and they put like those needs of everyone else above like their own. Like it literally just like uplifts like literally the whole crew. Like it's an awesome, like wow, like good for you, man.
Thank you.
So I have one other question I'm going to kind of throw, at you. Everything has been so good. So I had to ask that question about the not so good. So what is your least favorite part about, your job right now?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I would say the least favorite part about my job as of right now is resetting the expectation.
Okay.
I'm 9 months in. That's the reality of it. I inherited. That's kind of whenever you have a transitional period for leadership, there's an inheritance of the previous problems or things they neglected. So I inherited a lot of stuff. I mean, givens that we see now is not the given that we saw 10 months ago. So really resetting the expectations, getting everybody on board, because accountability is a huge thing in every career, every point of life, every aspect of life. You have to stay accountable. And so resetting expectations, setting the accountability, and following through and keeping to that word, I would say is kind of the not so good, because you're going to have backlash. The amount of times I've had cooks that got this close in my face and said, we never did this before. Okay. Well, that's what we call an ant. It's a automatic negative thought.
Yes.
We have so we never did this before. So in that time frame, this is one of my strategies to kind of grasp it is we have what we call a PET, is a positive enforced spot. So yeah, we never done that before, but had you tried this way before? If you have, what went wrong at that time, and what can we improve upon, and what aspects of it do you like? That shifts the perspective. So really every day is almost turning every ant that comes into my brain into a pet, because there are times where I will go, who thought to hire a 24-year-olds? Or there's times where I'm on the line and on Expo and Terrain for sure, go, chef. And I'm looking around like, where's chef at? And they're just all looking at me like, you're chef. I'm chef? Oh, who thought that was a good idea? But if they didn't see that in me, I wouldn't be in this position.
Exactly.
So it's those little moments that are like the kind of harder points of my job.
Yeah, for sure. One last question. I noticed that, 9 months on, okay, you just get hired, everything's going great. Then there's a hurricane. Hurricane Helene. I mean, I can only imagine being 24 years old, first like big time job. You're this big time chef. Like you have to manage all these people. And then there's literally like one of the worst natural disaster. Yes, to it, the whole Western North Carolina, Hurricane Helene. Like, how was that? Like, how are you guys able to stay afloat? And honestly, the fact the fact that you were able to stay afloat, gives a lot of credence and really a lot of onus to you.
Yeah. So Hurricane Helene happened. I would rather not relive the memory, but the very first day of the hurricane, actually during the hurricane, I get there at 7. I was driving around at 5:30 in the morning, trying to make sure that roadways were clear for my staff. Well, I watched tree lines fall in front of Gibbon. I watched tree lines fall on the backside of Sweeten Creek, so I knew I couldn't get most of our staff in because there's only 2 entrances.
Wow.
We had Clay River running through. I'm just going to give a little background. Also on Sweeten Creek, a tree literally fell 10 feet from my car. So so I decided I'm going to go home, kind of reset for a little bit. So I decided, I was like, well, we need to feed these residents because there's no one on campus. And truthfully, they rely on dining to make sure that their meals are provided.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to walk 4 miles in the hurricane.
Wow.
To work. About lost my shoe on the way there.
Wow.
Got in, was soaking wet. And the first comment I hear from this 85-year-old woman was, "Where's my decaf coffee?" And I just looked at her. I was like, "Ma'am, I don't think you realize that there's a hurricane happening right now. But I will get you your coffee as quick as I can." So I was like, let me just go to the back. I didn't realize we didn't have water. We didn't have power. So we had a generator. So I had my emergency lights on.
Yeah.
So go hit the coffee machine. It just reads error. I'm like, oh, God, here we go. Or press another one, error. I'm like, okay.
Oh, man.
And so I look into the error code. It was a WC14. It literally is, there is no water to fuel this machine. Sweet. I'm fine. So tell her, she's like, I need my coffee. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. I'm also the only cook here. I'm also the only server. I am the only person. So I produced, for lunch, I produced 1,500 sandwiches for resident staff and any volunteer that was on site.
You were the only person.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was
1,500 sandwiches.
Oh, yeah. I used literally everything I had in stock.
Wow.
For dinner, I was like, okay, I don't have much water, but luckily I have, if anyone's familiar with like the little portable water canisters, I had a bunch of those 5 gallons in the back. So I took those, dumped them into a pot, started making fettuccine Alfredo with chicken. And that was first day.
Wow.
Second day I come in, I actually have staff. I have like 4 members. I'm like, yay, this is working. We're getting people in. And we produce 3 meals a day. During that entire time of that storm, I only ordered a truck one time because I saw what we had. And honestly, I kind of fell back on, I studied a lot into the Great Depression because I liked history. So I learned a lot of meals that were super easy to make and produce with limited supplies. So thought that I was just serving them slop, but I was like, okay, we need to think rationally. I produced 3 meals a day for 53 days. I worked 25 days in a row, 14 hours a day. And that storm really took us out. Nobody had water. We didn't have power. We didn't have no way to communicate. So in that time, we tapped the rocks up at our health center, which is up on top of a hill. We tapped the rocks and we were able to get water flow through it. So that's how we were starting to get water. We worked with Samaritan's Purse. We have a pond in the middle of campus.
Mm-hmm.
So we worked with them to build a bunch of filters and get it into that pond so we can filter it and use it as our dishwashing water. Was it the cleanest? No, but I did dump don't worry, people, I dumped 5 gallons of bleach in every single sample. I tried to make sure I wasn't getting almost sick. And then I also was tapping water out of a creek. So whatever we could do to get water, I was going to make happen, because at that point, there's a lot more that was going on that we were actually planning for. And at that time, me and our previous assistant director of dining, we created what we called G-Mart. We ordered a gigantic truck. I mean, we had 4 U.S. food trucks that were all dedicated to Givens come through, and we set up a G-Mart. What that was is we set up a market for our staff and their families in need to be able to come grab food, cleaning supplies, whatever they needed, so they could keep persevering through the storm. And that was really the extent of the storm, was pivot, persevere, and make it happen by any means necessary.
Wow. Pivot, persevere, and make it happen by any means necessary. Wow. 24 years old, Joshua Waters. I mean, I'll be honest, man, at this point, I mean, I kind of want to make a made for TV movie, special, because this is wild, man. I mean, to be so young, but so focused, and just on point really is a complete inspiration for anyone tuning in, that age truly does not matter when and you are talented, and when you've been, taught the right thing. So, I mean, shout out to you, man, for just holding down the whole, just wow. I mean, just everything. Wow. With that said, I guess we are going to come to a close, but thank you again so much for joining us and for tuning in. And thank you again to Mr. Joshua Waters and his amazing story. And you guys tune in later for some more awesome stories here on Career Quest.